Welcome back to the 2022 FinTech Conference here on Business Tech. South Africa is the biggest business news website. And speaking of big, our next speaker works for an organization that, well, it's ubiquitous in the world of payments. Ever since the company was founded back in 1966 as Interbank Card Association and later rebranded to its current name in 1979, Mastercard has steadily become one of the most far-reaching payment solutions providers around the world. And I think some might even consider that there could be few worlds left to conquer for this financial services mainstay. However, finance isn't static, and we know that. And Mastercard has opened the door for fintech companies to build, launch, and grow in its backyard. Mohammed Nana is Vice President, Fintech Partnerships, Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa at Mastercard. Mohammed, welcome. Great to have you present this year. What are some of the major trends that Mastercard is seeing in the fintech space at the moment?
Hey, Michael, thanks so much for having me. Absolutely. I mean, from a fintech perspective, where do I even start, with regards to these trends? It's growing, the fintech space is evolving at such an enormous pace. But we primarily see about 6 major trends, within the fintech space at this point in time. I think the best place to start is investment. Okay. In Africa, fintech startup funding is probably one of the most active business investments, accounting for nearly $3 billion. 2021 was a record year for fintech investment in this region, where 2/3 of all investment realized by startups across the continent were allocated towards the fintech scene. Investment sources are coming from all over. We see investments coming from the USA, from UK, as well as China, into South Africa on the premise that the South African fintechs will provide reach into the rest of Africa. The key markets that we see across the region, or within the African continent rather, on the west, it's definitely Nigeria. A lot of movement happening there, a lot of growth within the fintech space. In the east, most definitely Kenya, a lot of growth happening there. And obviously in the south, it's South Africa, right? Those are sort of the 3 key markets where we see a lot of movement within the fintech space. Also, other countries such as Egypt have also seen some sizable deals take place. Startups, specializing in digital or mobile payments, those are the ones that have received the greatest financing over the years, followed by banking or lending startups, as well as insurtechs. Those are also growing, quite significantly from a fintech startup perspective and from an investment perspective. Number 2, of the 6, number 2 is financial services adoption. So we're seeing a massive increase in financial services adoption, particularly in Africa. In sub-Saharan Africa, what we see is that only 55% of adults have access to formal financial services. And this includes the 33% of adults who had a mobile money account. But let's be honest, this is really a shocking statistic. And it means that the large majority do not have access to secure and productive means of saving, safe and efficient ways of transacting money, or regulated credit. So now you know why the investment into the fintech space is so high. Because with this investment, Africa is able, or has been able rather, to leapfrog legacy applications, leveraging the vast and growing mobile penetration in the region as a catalyst for financial inclusion. So while cash is still very dominant, technology and the innovation in the space is really changing the game, specifically in Africa. Number 3 is we're seeing a lot of customer centricity. Customer centricity is really the key to innovatively solving real problems for real people. So if we look at COVID-19 as an example, lifestyles changed. We had to adapt to, a new form of behavior. And what we're seeing is that relying on the same payments infrastructure is untenable. Mm-hmm. The future of payments, or the future is being shaped by convergence of payments across multiple channels and rails, be it a card type payment, be it EFT, be it mobile money. This is driven by consumers increasingly expecting an omnichannel experience with more choice in how and who they want to pay. So Mastercard in 2022, in this year rather, we had a new payment index study, and we found that 67% of consumers in South Africa made a purchase from an online marketplace, and 51% bought something from a mobile app in the last 6 months. 35% of South African consumers indicated that they used less cash in the past year, and 80% of South Africans said they were most likely to use instant payment services in the next year. So what we're seeing is that we're seeing this huge shift take place, and consumers obviously are driving the demand from a payment centricity perspective. Number 4 is embedded finance. And I mean, obviously, that's now, the key word within the fintech space, embedded finance. But as the saying goes, necessity breeds innovation. So startups are really, stepping up to harness the digital trends that we are seeing. E-commerce, fintech, digital health, I like to call it health tech, supply chain technologies are all expected to emerge with a newfound strength in the years ahead. So in line with embedded finance, we've seen the following themes that are growing very, very rapidly. Buy now, pay later. I mean, in 2021, buy now, pay later, in my view, was sort of, the buzz term. It was everywhere. But it's really, really growing. Microcredit is really a big thing, especially on our continent. Data-driven decision-making is the second big theme. Alternative lending models, digital-first value propositions, open banking. We're obviously seeing massive growth within the UK region or in Europe rather, an open banking scene, and obviously it's really, really coming down. Or it's starting to really enter into the South African and African markets as well. Cybersecurity. I mean, as we move into the digital era, cybersecurity it's not sort of a luxury anymore; it's a necessity. And lastly, digitizing cash payments and digital identity are one of obviously the key main themes, specifically on this, with regards to embedded finance.
It's remarkable. I mean, I was just going to say, Mohammed, what you're seeing, just to interject there quickly, is this rise of 3 major converging factors. We're a lot more comfortable using these digital technologies. There is this rise of Africa and this demographic dividend that will allow us to leapfrog. And we're seeing capital coming in and backing the innovation that's looking for these opportunities. And I think it's a fantastic time to be a fintech. Just carry on.
Yeah, I think that's what keeps my job exciting, right? I mean, I look after the fintech segment, and I can assure you, Michael, every day is a new day. If you think about the ideas that these fintechs are coming up with and the money that they have, the investment they're getting to go out there and really, deploy and really make a difference, it's phenomenal. But anyway, moving on, we're really seeing the market evolve, right? So with the rise of fintechs, and it's creating several new dynamics. And it should be fascinating to see how things play out. So let's bring it closer to home. In South Africa, neobanks have been launching with 0 fees, which is a dramatic step in a market where fees have been a universal even for basic banking, right?
Yeah.
Whether traditional banks begin to lower or remove their fees, this remains to be seen. So competition is there. Competition's happening. But let's be honest, right? Competition is healthy and it's very, very good for financial inclusion. So we're not complaining. Lastly, what we're seeing is we're starting to see a lot of partnerships take place. So there's a lot of partnerships happening amongst fintechs, fintechs and telcos, fintechs and retailers, fintechs and banks. Because I think what these guys have realized is that in order to really, digitize payments, in order to really displace cash, you can't do it alone. There's only one way to do it, and that's through forming partnerships. So we're seeing a massive increase in partnerships, across the whole region. So they're getting together, they're seeing these pain points, and they said, okay, let's solve it by formulating partnerships. And what's happening is that they're creating these really seamless experiences, bringing value, bringing choice, and most importantly, utility to consumers, all of which really spur the adoption of digital payments. So we're seeing a big acceleration of partnerships between the fintechs as well as financial institutions, which is really good to see. It's really healthy. There was a time probably 2-3 years ago where everybody looked at fintech. When I say everybody, I mean the banking network looked at fintech. Yeah, exactly, and said, "Is this a friend or foe?"
Yeah.
But we're starting to see that the foe is no more, and they're becoming friends. And they're starting to grow and really make a difference. In this industry. Most importantly, right? I mean, building trust is very important, and it takes a lot of time, experience, setting up security standards, repeated testing, and a proven track record. So, I mean, like you mentioned, from a Mastercard perspective, we've been around for over 50 years, so we've really built this really strong network, and we've built this platform that says whether you're a bank, whether you're a fintech, whether you're a telco, we have this platform to provide payment experiences. You focus on your consumers, you focus on creating unique experiences, and we'll focus on the payment piece. So what we're doing is we're really looking to partner with a lot of these fintechs as well as the banks, and we look to obviously work with them to go a long way in really making a difference from a financial inclusion perspective on the African continent.
And it reminds me of what Jamie Dimon was quoted as saying at a FinTech conference over in the US a couple of months ago. Now, as the head of JP Morgan, one of the most significant financial institutions on the planet, he to that point said it's no longer a friend or foe type narrative with the fintechs. He says it's about partnerships, and those incumbents, those financial institutions that don't embrace partnerships are probably the ones that are not going to withstand this wave of innovation and creative destruction that we're seeing, as Joseph Schumpeter would say. Now, just a couple of months ago, in May, I believe, Mastercard launched FinTech Express in the Middle East and Africa region. Can you just unpack what this program is all about?
Sure. So FinTech Express was designed to solve a massive pain point within the payments world. And that is launching a card program. So you can speak to anybody who's launched a card program in whatever market they may be in. They'll tell you that it's a very, very complex process. First, you need a regulated partner, which we like to call a BIN sponsor, or in simple terms, a bank. So a partner who obviously is a financial services provider, licensed with the regulator of that market. We call them a BIN sponsor. So you need a partner with a BIN sponsor. You'll need a program manager. You'll need a card processor, all just to process a card payment. And if you're issuing a physical plastic, you obviously need a card embosser, and the list goes on and on. So it's a really it's a long list of criteria that you need. So Mastercard launched the FinTech Express program, which is a program that was designed to assist fintech businesses to go to market quicker and find the necessary partners in one place. So if you are a fintech enabler, we call partners that provide any card program module. We call them a fintech enabler. We simply certify you and endorse you to these startups. So you become part of this, FinTech Express ecosystem. That's what I like to call it. So as a card processor, we certify you and we make you available, towards these startups. And if you're a startup, what you simply do is you simply visit our FinTech Express page, and you have a look at all our certified partners. You select the certified partner that you want, and off you go. You're able to literally go to market very, very quickly. Then what we also have is we have these regulated entities that also register for the platform. And what we then do is we take these card processors, we take these sponsored entities, and we form what's called alliance partnerships between the two players. So it builds that ecosystem, and it gets, so as a startup, I'm able to literally choose a partner that I feel comfortable with, and they're able to, launch a card program with me. Instead of taking months, I'm able to do it within weeks. And that's the benefit of the FinTech Express program. But apart from a card as a service type offering, through this, or through what we call this partner network, it also provides access to API platforms, which exposes FinTech partners to a vast array of Mastercard APIs with information such as detailed documentation, tutorials, sandbox, success stories to enable rapid integration, and most importantly, inspire innovation. That's what it's all about, right? The program also is designed to make it easier and simpler for digital payment innovators to collaborate with Mastercard in aiding new payment solutions and assisting existing players looking to expand into new segments. Now, our approach is very, very simple, right? It's underpinned by a shared mission of inclusive growth and doing well by doing good.
That's phenomenal. It's card as a service, it's collaboration as a service. And really, it looks like it's for all types of fintechs. If you're established, if you wanted a direct license from Mastercard, as well as those with ambitions to innovate through collaborating with your ready-to-go Mastercard Engage partners. And as such, I see the program is split into three core modules. You've got Access, you've got Build, and you've got Connect. Can you just explain what each of those specific modules offers?
Sure. So The program is built for developers by developers. So, if you look at a fintech life cycle, right, several fintechs focus heavily on investment, getting the seed funding, getting the funding in. And once this lands, they have no idea how to really commercialize their ideas, how to really take it from, I've got this funding, how do I, get down to actually launching this business? And that's where they really struggle. Our technology and solutions are very, very simple and easy to use. So regardless of the stage of the journey that you are in, as a fintech, we're able to help you transform your bold ideas into reality with our tools, with these APIs, and obviously the extensive range of solutions that we have. We're able to help you launch these new products, implement with the partners, the certified partners that I spoke about, and launch features for an enhanced user journey. And most importantly, really allow you to achieve scale at pace. So you're able to really grow at pace through new customer acquisition, grow into new markets as well. Because as as Mastercard, we operate in over 210 different markets, right? So we help you grow into these new markets. And we work with you as a partner, not just for the short term, but we work with you to create value and really take you into all these markets, or any other market rather that you want to go into.
210
Now,
markets. Are you in space? You must have Mastercard on the space station as well.
we down to earth, let's put it that way. But anyway, because the program caters, for fintech businesses at different stages, we've broken, to your point, we've broken it down into 3 modules. So access, connect, and build. So, briefly speaking, access enables regulated entities to really obtain a Mastercard license and access Mastercard's network through a really streamlined onboarding process. We aim to get partners live in weeks, where previously it would be like a month, a few months journey. We aim to get you live within a few weeks. Connect is really for these fintechs and startups that are looking to add payment solutions to their suite of products. And we can easily connect with our qualified express partners available on our web portal and go live with Mastercard in a matter of days. I speak weeks, but yeah, we're hoping, we obviously, trying to make sure that we're able to get partners live within days. And lastly, it's about co-creation, right? So the whole build phase is about where fintechs can become express partners by really co-creating with them and building unique alliances and benefiting from all the advantages that we as Mastercard provide.
Wow. Now, apart from getting access to your 210 markets, I don't think anyone on the planet can really offer something like that. What sets Fintech Express apart from the other solutions on the market?
Yeah, so Fintech Express is just one of the many programs that we have as part of our Mastercard Developers program. So we've got a program called Mastercard Developers, and I like to refer to this whole program as in, like I think I mentioned it earlier, it's more of an ecosystem whereby we facilitate these alliance partnerships. Okay, what sets us apart is how we are. How it was designed to really, allow access for these regulated entities to become licensed and integrated within our network very, very quickly. It connects these non-regulated entities. So these startups, if I'm a startup, I have this funding, I'm not going through the whole, regulated piece. So I'm able to then really look up with Mastercard. Mastercard brings me the regulated entity. I then go through a certification process, and I'm able to really go live within a matter of weeks. Okay. And lastly, it really allows businesses to build new programs. That whole co-creation piece, right, that I spoke about as well. So it allows these businesses to build new programs for their customers in record time, and using our optimized processes and commercial framework to launch it very, very quickly.
Well, I must say, it sounds like an unbelievable ecosystem to be part of. If you're a fintech, if you're one of our conference attendees and you want to learn more about Mastercard's Fintech Express program, should they just reach out directly to you? How can they find out more, Mohammed?
Yeah, so within the region, so the Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa region, there's 81 markets that we operate in the region. So I'm sure, we want to get guys to market very, very quickly. So it's very, very simple. We have a Mastercard Developers website. So you simply go onto Google, do a Google search, look for Mastercard Developers, and everything comes up. Our whole Fintech Express program, and you simply just go through a quick registration process. And what we then do is we assign a program manager. So we assign a dedicated program manager who will walk you through the detail and get you live very, very quickly. It's as easy as that.
As easy as that. If you want to access, build, and connect with Fintech Express. Mohammed Nana, Vice President, Fintech Partnerships for Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa at Mastercard. It's been a real pleasure hearing more about how the real leader in payments in the world is approaching fintechs, and it's great to see this collaborative ecosystem-based approach. Keep it going.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Well, stay right there. It's the 2022 FinTech Conference here on Business Tech, South Africa's biggest business news website. We're keeping you curious. Remember your ABCs, always be curious, and it's probably always be charging because there's still load shedding here in South Africa. But stay right there. We've got another great speaker lined up straight after this.